A Date with Judy.
Hello.
Hello, Judy. Would you like a date with a tall, blonde, handsome, athletic type?
Oh, I certainly would.
Oh, I was afraid you would. I guess I'll have to ask some other girl.
Oh, jeepers.
That's Judy, folks. Judy Foster, the cutest date in town. Your date with her each Tuesday at this same time is arranged by the makers of Tums, famous quick relief for acid indigestion. Well, we find Judy having breakfast with her parents and her 12-year-old brother, Randolph. Mother speaks.
Randolph, you have the strangest look on your face. What are you thinking about?
He's thinking about his career.
His career, Judy?
Yes, he's a newspaper man.
Oh, that.
Excuse me, please.
Randolph, where are you going?
Upstairs to write an important and vital editorial. Then I'm going over to Curly Whiteman's. The Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune comes out this afternoon.
Are you still only the society editor, dear?
Oh, no, I've been promoted to the obituaries.
Well, that's quite an advancement.
Yeah, but it doesn't give me much to do. Nobody's died lately but one of Mrs. Schlutzhammer's goldfishes.
Randolph, aren't you ever going to be made editor-in-chief?
Well, frankly, I don't stand a chance as long as Curly Whiteman owns the mimeograph machine. Well, so long.
Hey, wait a minute, Randolph. I'll go with you. Excuse me, please. I have to go upstairs and get ready to go downtown.
Well, Melvin, what are you going to do today? Play golf?
Not me. I'm a busy man.
But it's Saturday, dear.
Well, I have a right to be busy on a Saturday, I guess. Dora, I haven't said anything about this, kind of keeping it to surprise you with, but, well, it looks pretty certain, and I might as well let you in on it.
What's that, dear?
Well, you are looking at a man who may be going to Washington in the very near future.
Washington? Whatever for?
Well, I just happen to be running for president of the Heave-Ho Businessman's Association.
Melvin, that's wonderful. I'm so proud of you.
No, well, it's one of those silly, tiresome things that everyone gets pushed into now and then. Yeah, the state chairman of Heave-Ho is backing my ticket, and if I'm elected, I'll have to go to Washington for the national convention. Very tiresome.
Why, Melvin, I think it's wonderful. It's a great honor.
Oh, nonsense. Just another one of those things that no one else wants.
You know very well Mr. Schlutzhammer and Mr. Benson would give their eye teeth to have it.
Maybe so. Yeah. And, of course, Tom Whiteman will pass out if he isn't reelected.
Oh, Melvin, I just hope you get it away from him. I never did like Mrs. Whiteman. Oh, Melvin, I just know you'll win.
Well, good possibility. After all, somebody has to be the GOAT.
My president of the Heave-Ho Businessmen's Association. Well, I certainly married a prominent man.
Not bad, not bad. Oh, say, you better not say anything about this to the children.
Why?
Well, they might mention it to Tom Whiteman's kids, and, well, there's no sense rousing the opposition.
I see.
And it's pretty well set now, and I'd hate to get some strong competition. That is, well, if the other boys want me.
Oh, yes, it would be a shame to disappoint the boys.
Yeah, well, I feel pretty confident. I'll get it, Dora. Sit still. It's probably for Judy anyway. Hello? Speaking. Oh, hello, Leonard. Friday night? Oh, no, I'm afraid I can't make it. Well, I'll tell you, but keep this under your hat. You know, we've got an election coming up pretty soon.
Stop that singing, Judy. Your father's on the phone.
Well, it seems like they've gotten together and decided that I should be president.
You mean Father is going to...
Yeah, well, it seems to be pretty well set. Of course, I'm sort of a dark horse, but the boys tell me I'm a cinch. Him? Oh, I think nearly everybody feels he's been in there just about long enough. Yes, indeed. So if I'm elected, it means I'll have to go to Washington. Yeah. Well, thanks, Leonard. Okay, be seeing you. Goodbye.
Why, Father, I think that's the most thrilling thing I ever heard.
Well, Judy, when did you come in the room?
In time to hear everything. Oh, Father, I think it's absolutely scintillating.
Judy, you shouldn't have been listening to your father's conversation.
Well, really, you'd certainly think that when a girl's father is doing something that important, she might be told something about it.
Now, Judy, this doesn't concern you in the slightest. For several reasons I don't want it talked about. So if you'll just forget whatever you heard, I'll appreciate it.
Well, I certainly don't want to intrude on anybody's private affairs. But isn't it romantic and everything?
This is just one of those things that has to be kept quiet until the proper time.
All right. But jeepers, think of you going to Washington.
Oh, very unique. Only about 12 million people a year do it.
All right. Be as mysterious as you like. But, oh, Father, you're so modest. I don't know how you do it.
That's just the way I am. I don't like to make a fuss about things.
Oh, if I were running for president, I'd just be out of my mind.
Well, you're not running for president, and don't you go around bragging about me either.
Oh, I won't, Father. I won't breathe a word of it. Randolph.
Go away, Judy. I'm editing my editorial.
Randolph. Randolph, do you know what protocol means?
No.
I do.
Good.
It means etiquette in diplomatic circles.
Fascinating.
It might pay you to take a little more interest in protocol. Why, if you should suddenly start circulating in diplomatic circles, you wouldn't know how to act.
Well, that isn't likely to worry me, unless certain drastic changes come over this family.
All right, Smarty. You'll be surprised when you find out the soul-stirring things that are ahead for this family.
The most soul-stirring prospect I can think of right now would be for you to let me finish my editorial. But, just out of curiosity, what is going on?
Oh, never mind. It happens to be a seething secret.
Okay, what is a seething secret?
No. Let's just forget it.
Okay, let's just forget it. I'll now finish my editorial.
Well, Randolph, it is a very secretive thing, but guess what?
I refuse to guess, talk, or walk.
Father's going to be president.
He's president now.
Oh, you mean president of his factory?
Yes, his factory. What did you mean, the United States?
That's exactly what I mean.
Well, there's an item for the paper. When last seen, Miss Judy Foster was going over the hills to the Mental Institute.
Randolph, it's true. I heard Father say so. But when I asked him about it, he got very serious and said for me not to mention it to a soul. But after all, you are in the family.
So I am.
Jeepers. You'll be living in the White House, too.
Who, me?
And I'll be dashing around with diplomats and foreign attaches and all.
Whatever became of Oogie Pringle?
Oh, him. Why, he'd look perfectly silly calling for me at the White House.
Even with that new zoot suit he's got?
It is not a zoot suit. It's merely a beautiful tweed with a double-breasted jacket.
On Oogie, it looks triple-breasted.
Randolph, you are deliberately changing the subject. If you don't want to believe it about Father, it's all right with me. Time will prove all.
Judy, until Father tells me personally himself we are moving to Washington, I have no intention of believing it. No, sir, I wait till I get things right from the horse's mouth.
Well, the horse, Father, just left for the factory.
Well, then I won't pack my clothes till he gets home tonight.
We'll find out in a moment if Randolph has to begin packing. Before we do, I have some advice for you. Don't let acid indigestion spoil another hour's comfort for you during the day or another hour's sleep for you at night. The moment you feel any sting of heartburn or other signs of acid indigestion, just slip 1 or 2 Tums in your mouth. Many people find it wise to take 1 or 2 Tums after each meal. Many also make it a point to take Tums before retiring at night. A sweet stomach is usually a happy stomach. So say millions who, night and day, at home or away, always carry Tums. Ask and be sure you get Tums for the tummy, T-U-M-S. There are many imitations of Tums, but no substitute for them. 10 cents a roll at all drugstores. And now back to A Date with Judy. Well, Judy heard part of a phone conversation. She believes Father is going to run for President of the United States, but what Father is really running for is President of the Heave-Ho Businessmen's Association. And just now, we pick up Randolph at Curly Whiteman's house, where the 2 boys are working on today's edition of their little mimeograph newspaper.
You know, Randolph, the trouble with the Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune is it has more name and less news than any paper I ever saw.
Well, you just haven't got enough imagination, Curly. Now, if I were editor, I'd dig up news.
Yeah?
Wait until I own a mimeograph machine.
The trouble is, nobody in this town ever does anything.
You ought to talk to Judy. She always thinks everybody is doing everything. Today, for instance, she says my father's going to run for president of the United States.
Run for president of the United States? Gosh, is he?
Oh, Curly, not you, too.
Well, gee, maybe Judy knows something. Lots of times girls do.
Well, That I can't dispute. But the things they know.
Hey, maybe she's right about your father. He's got what it takes to be a candidate. Why, he's honest, and he has a lot of hair, and comes from a small town.
Well, yeah, but nobody knows my father.
So what?
Well, what's his campaign slogan going to be? Vote for the masked marvel and see what you get after election?
No, I don't guess so. But, Randolph, I was just thinking, if he was running, it'd sure be great for the Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune. We'd get all the inside dope through you. And maybe we could even scoop up the Daily Bugle.
Dream on.
And if he really was president, the Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune would have a Washington correspondent. That's big-time stuff.
Mighty big.
A Washington correspondent living right in the White House. Why, every paper in the state would just sit around waiting for our paper to hit the streets.
Yeah, I can see him sitting there.
And drooling.
This imaginary hot news is giving you a temperature. Come on, let's get to work rewriting yesterday's weather report.
Okay. But it sure seems dull after this other thing. Randolph, is there anything wrong with me asking your father if he's running for president?
No, you can ask him. He likes answering questions. Hey, where you going, Curly? I mean, where did you go?
Yes?
Mr. Foster, there's a young man out here to see you. He says his name is Curly Whiteman.
Curly Whiteman? Oh. Well, send Curly in. Come in.
Hello, Mr. Foster.
Well, hello, Curly. I'm glad to see you. What brings you out here to my factory?
Well, sir, I'm here on business.
That's so. Oh, you want a job for the summer? Well, I'd be glad to give you one, but you're pretty young.
I don't want a job, sir. The Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune keeps me pretty busy. As a matter of fact, I came here to interview you.
What, interview me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's very flattering. Pull up a chair, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you want a little vignette on one of the town's prominent businessmen, perhaps, huh?
In a way.
Uh-huh.
Well, the truth is, I heard in a kind of a roundabout way that you were thinking of running for a pretty important office.
Oh, now, how in the world did you hear that? Oh, for the love of heaven, how things get around.
Then it's true?
Well, yes, it's true.
Wow!
Yeah, but remember, I'm not trying to push myself, Curly. Wasn't my idea. It was just that the boys thought I could handle it better than anybody else. Say, where'd you hear it?
Mr. Foster, as a newspaperman, I gotta protect my sources of information.
I see. Well, the news had to get out sooner or later, so I don't suppose it matters. What would you like to know?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Well, aren't you excited?
Oh, not particularly. I take these things in my stride.
You do?
Yes, I just regard it as another little chore that has to be done.
Jeepers. I bet not many men would regard it like that.
Well, Curly, you'll find that a lot of us are inclined to make a thing look big just because they're doing it.
Gosh, this is wonderful stuff. It's really going to make the Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune.
Think so? Well, I'd have let you know about it sooner, but it just came up a few days ago.
Is that so?
Yeah, they kind of ganged up on me and decided it'd be a good idea for me to go to Washington and show them how to run things.
Well, for goodness sake.
Of course, it's a nuisance in a way, but I'm glad to do it if I can make everything work better.
Oh, yes, sir. Gee, you sure are calm about it, Mr. Foster.
Well, why not?
I don't know. Gosh, it's mighty exciting to me, giving up your factory here and all.
Oh, giving up my factory? Now, take it easy, Curly. I'm not going to give up my factory.
You're not?
Well, certainly not. You see, I can handle the presidency in, 2 or 3 hours a week.
In 2 or 3 hours a week? No kidding?
Well, if I can't, I'm not as smart as I think I am.
Boy, you must be awful smart, Mr. Foster. Could I quote you on that?
Of course. However, remember, I'm not in office yet. But you can say that if I am elected, I can certainly do the job capably in my spare time.
Wow. Gee, Thanks ever so much, Mr. Foster.
You're very welcome.
Just 1 minute, please.
Huh?
You did say you could handle the presidency in 2 or 3 hours a week.
That's right, sir.
Gee whiz. Gee whiz.
Yes?
Mr. Foster, the editor of the Daily Bugle is on the phone.
Oh, put him on.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello, Foster.
Hello, Jackson.
Foster, you've got a big nerve. I thought I was a friend of yours.
Oh, what's wrong, Jackson?
What's wrong? Since when do you go giving the most important news that ever hit this town to a little mimeograph sheet called the Try Boy, Try Something or Other?
Most important news to hit this town? You think so?
Do I think so? There hasn't been a story like this since McKinley was shot, and you don't even tell me about it.
Well, I didn't think you'd be interested.
Interested? Ye gods, Foster, I haven't got time to quibble. My paper's supposed to hit the streets in 5 minutes. Just tell me this interview you gave these kids, is it all true? You are running for president?
Yeah.
And you did say this stuff about handling the job in your spare time?
Well, yes.
Well, that's all I want to know. I'll just copy what it says here.
Yeah, but Jackson,
Now, of course, you don't stand a chance of making it, but just the fact that you're running is...
What do you mean? Why, I stand a good chance of making it.
Foster, you don't really believe that, do you? No, don't answer. I haven't got time for any more now. As it is now, I'm holding up the presses for this.
You are? Well, I had no idea that
So long, Foster. I've got to get this out on the AP.
Well, imagine that. AP, huh? Associated Press. Imagine me being that important.
And what's going to happen when Father finds out just why he's so important? But before he does, I want to find out something about you. Do you sometimes eat hurriedly or too much? Are you a heavy smoker? Then acid stomach is probably often your lot. What you want to do is check excess acidity and keep your stomach sweet. A good rule for you to follow is night and day, at home or away, always carry Tums. 1 or 2 Tums at any sign of acid indigestion will quickly neutralize the excess acid and sweeten your stomach. Smokers especially will find Tums useful, for Tums are different from most other antacids. They contain absolutely no soda or other water-soluble alkalis. Therefore, Tums never over-alkalize your stomach or cause an acid rebound or relapse. Any doctor will tell you that's an important difference. Get Tums this very night and see how many ways they come in handy. 10 cents a roll, 3-roll package for $1 at all drugstores. Ask for Tums for the tummy. T-U-M-S. And now back to A Date with Judy. Well, Father is running for president of the Heave-Ho Businessmen's Association. But the people who've been interviewing him are under the impression that he's running for president of the United States. Now we pick up Judy in the Foster living room. Everyone else is out. The phone rings.
Hello?
Is this the residence of Mr. Melvin Foster?
Yes, it is.
Universal Press Service is calling Mr. Foster from New York.
Oh, well, he isn't home yet. He'll be here a little after 6.
Thank you. I will give the message to my party.
Well, what do you know? Universal Press. Hello?
This is Worldwide News calling Mr. Foster from Chicago.
For heaven's sakes.
Congressman Gluten calling from Washington.
My goodness.
Washington correspondent for the International News Service calling.
Japers, crapers.
NEA Syndicate New York News calling.
Oh, butterflies. Mother, where have you been all afternoon?
At the hairdresser's. Why?
Well, the phone's been ringing like mad for the last hour. Everybody in the world has been calling Father.
Well, I wonder why.
New York and Chicago and Washington.
Long distance?
Yes, and people from here. Mr. Whiteman and Mr. Vance and the mayor.
The mayor? Oh, for heaven's sake, I wonder what your father's done now.
Really, Mother? You don't need to put on an act with me. I know I'm not supposed to know, but everybody else knows.
Knows what?
About Father running for president.
Do you mean to say all those calls have been about that?
Well, of course.
But long distance.
Isn't it thrilling, Mother?
Yes, I guess so.
How can you be so calm when you're practically the first lady.
First lady? Oh, my goodness, Mr. Whiteman's going to be awfully upset.
Jealous, huh?
Yes. Well, you can't blame him. After all, he's been president for so long.
Mr. Whiteman, Mother, what are you talking about? Mr. Roosevelt has been president.
I know, dear, of the United States, but your father...
Well, hello, everybody.
Father, the phone.
Hello, dear.
Got a kiss for the Lord and Master?
Of course.
Father, there have been all kind of phone calls for you,
Well,
Mr.
I guess I'm causing kind of a furor around.
Oh, you sure are, Father.
I guess your father's become a pretty important man, Judy.
Oh, it's simply scintillating.
Dora, do you know that the editor of the Daily Bugle was simply furious because I let the Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune beat him on the story?
Really, dear?
Father, you take it. I know it's for you.
Well, things certainly have changed around here, haven't they? Hello? Yes, Foster speaking. Well, that's quite an honor. Well, thank you very much. Oh, yes, I'll be there. Thanks again. Well, goodbye. Say, that was the mayor. Wants me to make a speech tomorrow. Well, what do you know about that?
I'll get it, Father.
Yeah, thank you, Judy. Well, I had no idea just being a candidate was going to cause all this commotion. What is it, Judy?
It's a telegram for you.
Well, thanks.
Oh, what is it, dear?
Let's see. It says, heartiest congratulations on your magnificent courage. We are behind you to a man. Signed, the Anti-Vivisectionist Luncheon Club.
Oh.
Well, now, imagine that. You know, some of those fellows aren't even members of the Heave-Ho Businessmen's Association.
Well, what difference does it make about that? The important thing is they're behind you.
Well, it's darn nice of them.
Oh, you're going to make it awfully tough for Mr. Dewey.
Mr. Dewey? Who's that?
He's a candidate, too.
He is. I don't even know him.
You don't know Tom Dewey? Father, I should think you'd take a little interest in your opposition.
Tom Dewey? Judy, what are you... Hello, Randolph. Judy, what the dickens are you...
Father, is there any truth in this thing I read in my own paper?
Now, Randolph... Wait a minute. What is in your paper?
An exclusive story you gave to Curly, and I don't believe it for a minute. But if it is true, I've been stabbed in the back by my own parent.
Give me that paper. Oh, for the love of heaven.
Why, Melvin, what is it?
Randolph, how did this thing get printed?
Oh, it didn't get printed, Father. It was mimeographed.
I don't care if it was carved on the head of a pin. How did it get in here?
Well, Curly said he was quoting you verbatim.
Oh, what does it say, Melvin?
How could... Listen, it says, local manufacturer candidate for presidency of the United States.
What?
Wait a minute, you haven't heard anything yet. Melvin Foster says he will run the country in his spare time. Oh. And that's only the headline.
Isn't it thrilling?
Oh.
Melvin, oh.
Does it say anything about me?
Listen, in an exclusive interview with the Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune this afternoon, Mr. Melvin Foster, father of Randolph Foster and president of the Foster Canning Company, said he was running for president of the United States in the coming elections. Mr. Foster added that he was smart enough to do the work of the chief executive in 2 or 3 hours a week.
Oh, Melvin.
Jeepers, Father. I think you ought to give it more time than that.
I'll sue this dirty sheet for every yellow penny it's got.
Well, you'd be suing me, Father.
Never mind, I'll sue anybody.
Oh, this is very embarrassing, dear.
Embarrassing? We'll have to change our name. That's what we'll have to do. We'll have to leave town.
Well, of course, to go to Washington. But why do we have to change our name?
Dora, send your daughter out of the room, will you, please?
But, Father, why?
Anyhow, Melvin, there's nothing to get so excited about. Hardly anybody reads the Tri-Boy Tribune.
Is that so? It has a circulation of 59.
Dora, do you realize that the Daily Bugle is carrying this same story tonight?
It is.
I just remembered. I told Bill Jackson he could copy every word of it. Oh, Dora, I'm a dead duck.
But jeepers, Mother. How was I to know Father was running for president of some old businessmen's organization?
Judy, let's not discuss this anymore. I'd be ashamed if I were you, getting your father into a mess like this.
But anybody would think it was for president of the United States.
Anybody. Nobody but you would assume such a thing. Oh, your poor father.
I'm terribly sorry, Mother. But you've got to admit Father would make a wonderful presidential timber.
He has wonderful executive ability, that's true. Oh, Judy, the whole thing's ridiculous.
Yes, I suppose so.
Incidentally, where did Randolph go?
Over to Curly's house. They're going to print a retraction.
Oh, your poor father.
Oh, my poor head.
Oh, you look awful, Melvin. Try and forget it, dear.
Forget it? After what's happened to me? Do you realize that I now have the honor of being the biggest darn fool in this whole darn town?
Well, you probably won't ever be president of the United States, but you still have a chance to be president of Heave Ho.
Fine chance. I'll bet everybody in the club is laughing himself sick at me right now.
Now, Melvin, just because there's been a slight misunderstanding.
Oh, very slight.
Oh, I'll get it.
Wonder if the Foreign Legion would have me.
Hello?
Hey, is Melvin Foster there?
Oh, who's calling, please?
Oh, this is Mr. Whiteman.
Just a minute. Father, it's the president of Heave Ho.
Oh, for the love of heaven, that's all I need.
Here, Father.
Hello?
Hello, Melvin. I'm sitting over here at the club with some of the boys.
Well, you can stop laughing.
I can't. It's so funny.
What do you mean, Whiteman?
Oh, Mel, we were just saying a man of your importance shouldn't be overlooked by Heave-Ho.
Will you stop laughing?
I can't, Mel. I'm getting tired of being president, and since I'm resigning anyhow...
Stop laughing!
Well, I'll try. Well, the boys want me to tell you you've just been appointed president of Heave-Ho by popular acclamation.
I don't care. Done what?
Well, they all say you deserve it. You've given us the best laugh of the year, and if you can keep us laughing like this, you'll be reelected time and time again.
Well, what do you know?
You can regard it as kind of a consolation prize for not getting into the White House.
Okay, I accept. And now will you please stop laughing?
Before we return for a moment to the Fosters, I have some questions to ask. How will you sleep tonight? Restfully? Peacefully? Or will you toss and turn in miserable discomfort? Well, one of the most common causes of sleepless nights is a touch of acid indigestion, whether it's caused by eating too fast, overeating, oversmoking, or worry. Simply do this at the first sign of distress. Slip 1 or 2 Tums in your mouth as you would candy mints. You'll probably be astonished at how much better you sleep, how refreshed you are in the morning. It's simply amazing how fast Tums bring relief to an upset acid stomach. Guaranteed to contain no soda, Tums are convenient and pleasant to take. Nothing to mix or stir. You don't even need water. Do as millions do, night and day, at home or away. Always keep Tums handy. Only 10 cents a roll, 3-roll package for $1 at all drugstores. Ask for Tums for the Tummy. T-U-M-S. And now let's return to the Fosters for a moment.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, hello, Randolph.
Well, Curly and I just got an extra out.
You did?
Yep. That's the 4th time the Tri-Boy Tri-Monthly Tribune has come out this month.
Well, I hope Curly printed a firm retraction.
He did.
Oh, I'll take it. Hello? Yes, this is Foster. Well, I can't help it. Goodbye.
Oh, what on earth was that, Melvin?
That was the editor of the Daily Bugle. He just read the retraction in the Tribune, and he was furious because Curly scooped him again.
A Date with Judy is written by Aline Leslie and stars Louise Erickson and Dix Davis. Original music was composed and played by Charles Cornell. The program was produced and directed by Helen Mack. This is Doug Gorley inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday at the same time to keep your Date with Judy.